This is a football podcast, man. Meat, football, good. Man, we talk football. We eat burgers.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Brothers podcast. Josh Johnson and Ben Watts here with you. We're talking fantasy football. We are excited. We are all jacked up on every different type of Mountain Dew. I can't even remember more than, what was the red one?
That was Code Red. You had Voltage. I remember Code Red, Voltage, and the regular.
The regular.
Oh, and
I always
Diet Dew.
remember the core memory. I drank the regular Mountain Dew, and I thought it was just knockoff terrible Sprite. And my dad about slapped me upside the head, said, "No, son, that's Mountain Dew you're talking about."
See, I've never been a Mountain Dew fan. Like, I'll drink it. It's fine. It's just not my favorite.
I always hated it. I never
I did like
stand
Code
Mountain
Red.
Dew.
Code Red was pretty good. Voltage was overrated. And then the rest is...
Code Red was good stuff. Remember when Taco Bell, they may still do this. It's been this long since I've been to Taco Bell. But you could always go get like a Code Red, like icy or whatever those things were, and go get that with your tacos and just obliterate yourself.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Absolutely wonderful.
I like Code Red. The Baja Blast every now and then, it's not bad. They got that at Taco Bell too. And there's something there's like a peach one at KFC. It's not that good. It is like, it's too much sugar. I can't, it's ridiculous. I can't do it.
Oh.
I'm more of a Sprite, Dr. Pepper kind of guy.
Listen, I might sound old, but give me some water, some coffee. That's all I need.
You are old.
I think I could drink 3 cups of coffee a day, have 1 steak, and be fine.
I drink mostly water. I drink a lot of bubblies. I'm a big bubbly guy.
Oh my, okay. Talking about drinks, right? Hated bubblies, hated LaCroix, hated all of them. I mean, the running joke for the longest time was that with LaCroix or bubblies or whatever else, that it tasted like somebody absorbed a bunch of flavor, got it in there, and then burped it into the can and closed the can up before the flavor got back out. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot there. But I don't know what has happened. Over the past couple months, I just have started like sneaking them out of the fridge. Like my wife has a whole stash of them in there. And there was like one flavor that wasn't half bad. It wasn't terrible. Grab that. And then I just found like I've been grabbing them, drinking them without even thinking about it. And all of a sudden I've looked up and I've finished like a fridge full of bubblies. I don't know what's wrong with me.
What flavor is it?
It was the watermelon and the pink lemonade.
That's my favorite one. I love the watermelon.
Oh my God.
Watermelon's
it's so
good. Cherry, the apple. I'm not a big fan of the mango, but yeah, watermelon, cherry, apple. The grapefruit one's okay. Yeah, they're all good, man.
Surprisingly. Anyways,
The healthier
that's
for
not
you.
what we're here for.
Going on a health kick, yeah.
We're here for fantasy football. We got a great episode today. We're very excited about it. We're doing a mock draft. We got some news before we get into the mock draft, though.
Has anything happened? I haven't really paid attention.
A few things. We got a couple things, but, it's a little quieter than last week. Last week, it felt like the world had just kicked itself into 5th gear or something. I mean, there was a lot going on.
Yeah. Taylor left the world. Still in shock. I am patiently waiting, praying, hoping, please God, let him play or get traded.
It very well could happen. And I think everybody has sort of chilled out on projecting what will happen in that situation, but
I just don't know.
I don't know.
I'm heading into the season I have Taylor on multiple teams. I'm just assuming he's not playing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get myself excited and then him not play. I'm just assuming he's not.
You're assuming Jonathan Taylor is not going to play this year.
No, see, I'm not predicting that he's not going to play. I'm just, when I'm looking at those teams and like projecting in my head how I think this year is going to go, I'm just going to be like, all right, well, maybe not assuming, but like scenario, what if he doesn't play? And then figuring out my moves from there.
So you're doing the contingencies on contingencies sort of thing.
Listen, when you've had as bad of luck as I have had playing fantasy football, you have got to have backup plans on top of your backup plans.
This is the man who has Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs. 0 championships.
0 championships.
I have had I have had the number one pick in this league more than once, and I have more championships than Ben does.
My team is like, it's just bad luck. Like, it's a absolute super team. Just when we get in the playoffs, it's just bad luck every single year.
Absolutely.
I had
brutal.
Alvin Kamara in the championship the year he scored 56 points and
That
lost.
should be automatic.
Lost. And it
That was
wasn't like the
also-
rest of my team just crapped the bed. It
That
was a
was-
good week.
Was that the year that, what was that, 2 years ago, Stephon Diggs had like
Yeah.
40 or something?
Yeah. I had Alvin Kamara who scored 56, but the problem was my opponent had Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs who both went for 40 points in the final week of the season. Both of them.
That'll do it. That just is right in the soul, is what that is.
This team has been the best team in the league for 2 years. Probably 3 years. The first year I didn't win. It definitely wasn't the best team. The second year, it was pushing for it. The past 2 years, my team's definitely been the best and hasn't won.
It's brutal. Why don't we hop into some news?
I'm listening.
On a lighter note, Javonte Williams. We've been talking about him just about every week because honestly, it's a medical miracle at this point.
It's unbelievable.
He's likely, according to Sean Payton, they're going to play him in preseason game number 2. So he won't go in preseason number 1, which honestly, you shouldn't have expected him even to appear in week 1. But it looks like he's going to play at least some snaps. I don't know the breadth of that, but he's going to play some snaps preseason week 2, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't expect him to be full go week 1. Like, yeah, I'm assuming he's going to be on a pitch count, but this is unbelievable that he's going to see action in a preseason game, not he's going to go out there and take 5 to 10 carries in a regular season game. No, preseason. Games that mean nothing.
I mean, it just shows that like every prognostication we had about this injury was wrong. I'll freely admit that prior to about, 3 weeks ago, maybe, I was super out on Javonte Williams for probably the first 8 weeks of the season. Like I have him on a dynasty team. I've got him on a couple other teams. But honestly, I just was planning on other guys being my main running backs this year and just holding him. But it looks like he's going to contribute this year and probably contribute a lot.
Yeah, I expect, back half of the season, he could be a league winner.
Honestly. And I think even the first half of the year, you could see him being like an RB3 maybe. But then the last half of the year, I'm expecting Duke could probably be an RB1, a top 12 guy.
He's got the talent for it.
So it absolutely crazy on the Javonte Williams front. I still think he's being drafted far too low. I think he's going to RB29, RB30 in drafts. We had our RB rankings a couple weeks ago. Go check those out if you haven't already. Javonte was in our top 24. So we are in on Javonte Williams.
We had just
this
moved
year.
him up there after all the news.
We had. Alvin Kamara officially has been suspended for 3 games this upcoming season.
It's honestly less than I thought. I was expecting 4.
I was thinking 4. I don't know. How does this change how you view the Saints backfield, how you view Alvin Kamara? There's another piece that I guess I'll just go ahead and lump in with this. Kareem Hunt is taking a free agent visit to the Saints. So sort of bake that into how you sort of feel about this whole thing.
If Kareem Hunt goes there, that's a problem, I think. Because then that gives you 4 good, decent backs when Kamara's back healthy. I think, obviously, Kamara's still the starter.
Yeah.
But you got Jamal Williams there, who I hate. They drafted Kendre Miller in the 3rd round, which is day 2 capital on a running back. That's pretty significant. and you bring in Kareem Hunt, who was a constant thorn in Nick Chubb's side the whole time he was there, and we know how good Nick Chubb is, so that means Kareem Hunt is a good player.
Yeah.
So it's if Hunt doesn't go there, I'm still in on Kamara as a solid RB2, I think. But if Hunt goes there, I think we got a problem.
For those first 3 weeks, assuming they do not sign Kareem Hunt, how in on Jamal Williams / Kendre Miller are you this year?
I think Jamal Williams is a very safe RB2, probably.
Really? Okay. I'm really interested.
It's 3 weeks, though. It's only 3 weeks.
It is only 3 weeks. I don't have any pieces of this backfield at all. And I'm probably not going to get any of them.
I just sold my last Camaro share. Man, I'm not going to go get any.
I won't draft this backfield. I don't have this backfield in Dynasty, so I'll be watching from afar with the Saints backfield this year. But I'm really curious to see how Kendre Miller fares these first 3 weeks, and then probably like the second half of the season. Because here's what's going to happen is you're probably going to see either Jamal Williams be really effective for 3 weeks, or there's like a split and Kendre Miller potentially shows some flashes and people go, oh, Kendre Miller's good. Well, then Kamara's going to come back and just destroy both of them. But I could see also a scenario where Kendre Miller, the back half of the season, maybe the last 5 weeks or something, last 4 weeks, has a couple, big runs in limited work. Maybe he's getting like 6-8 carries a week to spell Kamara. And then everybody goes, oh, Kendre Miller's not half bad. And you're sort of stashing him as a handcuff for Kamara. I don't know. I'm curious. I don't really know how I feel about it. I have a sinking feeling about Jamal Williams that he's not going to be all that effective this year because I just don't project the touchdowns to be there. And I don't think he's really special at anything. I think he's pretty average at everything.
I don't know. He's scored like 17 touchdowns last year. He's pretty good at 1-yarders.
Listen. I don't know if I could get 12 1-yard rushing touchdowns. He had so many attempts from inside the 5-yard line that I feel like a scrub could still score a bunch of touchdowns behind that offensive line.
Put Kareem Hunt on the Detroit Lions in that situation.
Kareem Hunt would have scored 17 touchdowns.
Yeah. And he would have caught passes, which Jamal Williams does not do.
Right. So I don't know. I think I'm fading the backfield as a whole, but I do think it's a little bit mildly interesting.
I think I sort of came up on it just because of Derek Carr. Like, people like to hate on Derek Carr. The offense is going to be fine with Derek Carr there.
It's certainly not going to be.
It's
worse
not like
than
it's Jameis Winston back there. If it was Jameis Winston, I don't want to touch it. I'm done. Andy Dalton, no. Derek Carr is more interesting than people I think are going to give this backfield credit for. Not saying I'm in on it, go draft these guys, but don't completely fade it out of, no, I don't want to touch it.
I agree. All right. We're doing a mock draft. Are you ready to do a mock draft?
Yes, I don't like it, but let's do it.
So we're doing a 12-team PPR mock draft. We're doing one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flexes, 5 bench spots. We randomized our draft order before hopping on here. I'm drafting from the 107, and Ben is drafting from the 109.
Yay.
So we've got a lot of mock drafts actually on Instagram where we're drafting early. So if you want to see a draft
this is
from
the
like
year
the
I want to
103,
draft early.
I agree. When I saw 107, 109, I was not excited because I'll level with you. The 107 is exactly where I don't want to be. I want to have a top 4 pick or a back 4 pick. And instead I'm in the middle, which is just great.
Yeah, I can't stand being in the middle. This will honestly be good. This is good practice, though.
This will be interesting. So we're going to go ahead and start the draft and see how things shake out. Justin Jefferson goes 101. Christian McCaffrey goes 102. Austin Eckler goes 103. Chase goes 104. Cooper Kupp at 5. Travis Kelce at 6, which puts me on the clock at 7.
It's about how you expect this top 6 to go.
All right, so I'm on the clock at 107, and I think this is a pretty obvious pick in a PPR league. I have Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson, Stephon Diggs, Saquon Barkley on the board. For me, this is really easy. It's going to be Tyreek Hill as my wide receiver 1. Yeah, I feel like Tyreek Hill could go off the board as early as like the 104. Well, no, probably not the 104, but the 105, you could see him going. He ends up dropping to me at the 107. Bijan Robinson goes at 8, which puts Ben on the clock at 109.
I was really hoping Bijan slipped one more spot. That would have been a dreamland to get Bijan at the 1-9.
I knew you were thinking about it.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting spot here. You're at the back end of the 1. I've got a wide receiver here I like, and I've got a running back here I like. I think the running back fall off, though, at this spot, I'm a big proponent of going receiver early in this draft, but the top 4 guys are gone. And I think this is a good spot for Saquon Barkley right there at that pick, over Diggs and Lamb.
I don't hate that at all because I do think you've got a running back tier break there. And you're not far enough back in the first round to where you can think about going receiver. I just noticed, okay, wow. All right, so you went Saquon Barkley at the 109. Wow. Stephon Diggs goes at the 110. CeeDee Lamb goes at the 111. The sleeper CPU picked Patrick Mahomes at the 112.
Yeah, because in a 1-quarterback league, you've got to secure your quarterback early, guys.
Oh my goodness
gracious. It is a critical
gracious.
Draft strategy.
What is going on?
Sleeper knows more than us, okay?
Wow. All right. So, okay. A.J. Brown at the 201, Nick Chubb at 202, Josh Jacobs at the 203. It was probably a good idea to take your running back because they would have gone. Ben's back on the clock at the 204. I cannot believe Patrick Mahomes went at the 112.
I was taking him at this spot if he wasn't off there.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
You were not.
So yeah. Oh, this is tough. I don't like this next spot. I know we did our rankings, and I'm pretty sure we had this guy ahead of him. But I think I'm warming up to Davante Adams. I really am.
Yeah. He's just so good,
I was hoping Nick Chubb possibly fell. I think Nick Chubb is closer to Saquon Barkley than we think. I was actually I'm okay with him at the 1-9 there too.
Yep.
Or 110, but didn't make him. I think Davante Adams has still got top 5 upside this year. I think he's got one more season. I mean, he's succeeded now with 2 quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's nothing special, but he'll be able to get it done for him. I'm okay taking Davante at the top of the 2nd round here.
Dang. All right. So Davante Adams at the 204. Jonathan Taylor goes the 205. Puts me on the clock at the 206.
Some good choices here.
This is very difficult. This is where I don't want to have to make decisions. I
feel like there's a group of the tier 1 guys are all gone, but the cluster of tier 2 guys are all so close that it's just I don't really know who I want.
Yeah, I mean, I could go at this point in the draft. I tend to go with kind of like a grouping or a tier sort of drafting strategy. And I think there are, in terms of wide receivers, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown here. We have Garrett Wilson here, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave. I really like all of these guys. I did also take a wide receiver in the first round. And I think with the way that drafts are falling this year with the ADP, with the average draft position, I really like taking a running back in the first 2 rounds, at least one, probably only one, and then loading up on wide receivers, tight ends, quarterback, and filling in with some of these later mid-round running backs because I feel like there's a ton of values there. There is one running back on the board that I view as a really, really good fantasy pick this year. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Tony Pollard as my RB1 at the 206.
Amon-Ra goes. I was torn with Devontae and Amon-Ra there. I really wanted one of those two guys.
I definitely thought about Amon-Ra, and this is a PPR league, so I think I could have gone Amon-Ra and felt really, really good about it. Garrett Wilson too. I don't know. All of those receivers looked very nice, but I went Pollard. So Amon-Ra goes at the 207. Then we have Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson at the 210, Jalen Hurts at the 211, Jalen Waddle at the 212. Mark Andrews kicks us off in the third round. Chris Olave at the 302, Ramondre Stevenson at the 303, Najee Harris, Breece Hall, DK Metcalf, and I'm back on the clock once again.
I just want to say I love Olave at the 3-2 turn there.
Absolutely love
that. That is one of my favorite picks to do right now.
I agree. I've been taking Olave in the late second in mock drafts and feeling very good about it.
Yeah.
So for him to fall to that,
if I take CMC
early third
or Eckler with one of my early firsts, getting Olave in that second round is beautiful.
Yeah, one of my favorite drafts thus far this year. I was picking at the 103. I got Justin Jefferson there, and then I took Jalen Waddle in the late second at the 210, and then at the 303 got Chris Olave, which just is dumb. Obviously, I needed to take some running backs, but, the receivers were ridiculous. Anyways, I'm in the clock at the 307. Again, very difficult pick. Mark Andrews, if he had fallen here, probably would have considered it. But
Team 1 is killing it right now, by the way.
Oh, wow. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, and Mark Andrews. That's a very solid start. That's a very solid start. Okay. I don't really know where I want to go here. I haven't done this sort of draft strategy yet, and it feels like there's players that I want, but I'm going to have to reach on them if I want them at this spot on the draft board. Whereas if I go with a different draft spot, I can sort of just wait for them to fall to me in later rounds. But I don't think they're going to fall to me later. So I think I'm going to have to call my shot here if I really want a guy.
There's one guy who stands out here to me.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm just going to go ahead and take T. Higgins as my wide receiver 2.
Wow. Okay.
Devonta Smith goes at the 308. Ben
Sound
is
like
on
me.
the clock at the 309.
Well, I get the guy I wanted who stands out to me. I love my boy T. Higgins, and I love Devonta Smith too. I think he's going to have a good year. But I'm very excited to take Jahmyr Gibbs in the third round here.
That was the other one I was looking at.
That is too enticing to pass up.
I definitely thought about Jahmyr Gibbs, but
Dang
I felt
it,
like I
Ridley
could
goes
get
off the
some. See, that's what I was talking about. Ridley? Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs, you take him. Burrow goes at the 310. Deebo Samuel at the 311. Calvin Ridley is the last pick in the third round, which really is frustrating because when he's been in the fourth round, it's been so nice. Keenan Allen at the 401. Travis Etienne, and then Kenneth Walker. Ben's back in the clock. I really wanted Calvin Ridley in the fourth round, but I had a feeling it wasn't going to happen, and he was very sad.
There was no chance he fell past me. Trust me.
I figured.
There was no chance that happens.
I've been drafting Calvin Ridley in the fourth so much and feeling so good about it.
Okay. I've got 2 running backs. I have a guy I want to call my shot on, but I feel like it may just be too early. There's other players I like on the board more to call my shot here. You might see this as calling my shot too. I know you will disagree with this pick, but TJ Hawkinson here in the mid to early fourth round, I'm very okay with here.
Yeah, I don't know if I would personally have the conviction on him to do that, but if you've been listening to the show for any period of time, you will know that Ben absolutely has the conviction to go and get him some early TJ Hawkinson.
I'm all in on TJ Hawkinson. I'm sold on him.
DeAndre Hopkins goes at the 405.
Bad pick.
Putting me,
That's a bad pick.
yeah, I do not like
That is
D-Hop
a bad pick.
in the fourth. That feels real bad. Okay.
There's like 10 guys on the board right now I'd rather have,
Yeah,
if
I
not
agree.
more.
Once again, I'm staring down. I think I can wait on quarterback. There
I know
are
who you
several
wanna
of
take
them. You know who I want to take?
I do.
You're right. I do have conviction about one player that I would love to get in the 5th round that he's probably not going to be there. Where's
I've got conviction
the
about
tier
him too.
break? Where's the tier break? There is absolutely a tier break, isn't there? I'm going to have to take a running back here based on how this board is going to fall. There's a couple wide receivers I like, Amari Cooper, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore. It's a little bit
There's
early
guys
for
you
DJ
like,
Moore,
but there's nothing you feel sold on.
all right. I'm going to just do it. It feels weird, but I'm going to take Miles
Call
Sanders
it.
with the
Yes,
406. That it feels early.
That's what I didn't want. I thought about him at the 4-4, but I'm like, that's
Yeah.
just too early. I can't do it.
I would much rather take Miles Sanders at the end of the 4th round than the middle of it. But like when you're in the middle, you sort of just have to look at when am I going to be on the clock again, and are the guys going to be there that I like? And Miles Sanders would have absolutely not been on the board in the 5th round with my next pick. So I wanted a good RB2. I feel like Miles Sanders is going to be that for me. So Aaron Jones goes, then Lamar Jackson, Amari Cooper, Alvin Kamara, Damian Pierce, Justin Fields, Joe Mixon, Drake London at the 502, Justin Herbert at the 503, George Kittle, Terry McLaurin, Trevor Lawrence at the 506, putting me back on the clock.
I'm actually upset about how the past 2 rounds have gone, because one of my favorite strategies that I've been doing too is I'll grab Calvin Ridley in the 4th round and get
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence on the way back through the 5th.
Yep.
And I like that stack.
I have done that a couple times myself, and Trevor Lawrence probably would have been the pick for me here, but I got sniped by Team 6, I guess.
Freaking Team 6.
There's still several quarterbacks that I like, so I'm going to push quarterback off. There's a couple tight ends I like, but I don't know if I really want to take a tight end right now. The tier has been broken at running back, so it's going to be a receiver for me, and there's just a matter of who's it going to be. I said I thought about DJ Moore in the middle of the 4th. I do think towards the end of the 5th round, that's a pretty decent pick. He's got locked in volume and target share. For me, he's the wide receiver 3, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab DJ Moore here in this PPR
That's probably
league.
the right pick.
Dallas Goedert at the 508, and then Ben is on the clock.
There's another player. You and I both have some conviction about him.
Yeah, I know who you're going here.
Well, I actually don't know here, because I think coming up here there is a tier break at receiver.
I agree.
So I think based on ADP where we're looking, I think I've got to take the last receiver that I actually feel confident in, which is Jerry Jeudy. Take him here and see who falls to me at the turn.
Kyle Pitts goes at the 5'10", Darren Waller at the 5'11". I probably would have taken one of those tight ends had they fallen to me in the 6th round, but I guess they won't. Madison rounds out the 5th round. J.K. Dobbins at the 601. That's crazy. Alexander Madison goes before J.K. Dobbins. I mean, I guess it's not crazy, but that just feels very, very weird. DeAndre Swift at the 602. Dalvin Cook at the 603. And Ben is once again back on the clock.
And now we're going to take exactly who you thought I would take last time.
Yep.
Our guy, Cam Akers, is still there in the 6th round. Give me Cam Akers every time right there.
Yep. That would have been my pick had he been on the board. Dang. Christian Watson goes to the 605. I am once again on the clock. I think I can string quarterback out one more round at least. The tight ends that I would have considered are gone. So I'm officially punting tight end right now.
Doesn't feel good, does it?
It does not feel great. There's still I know we just talked about tight ends in the last episode, and there are some punt tight end options on the board here in the 6th round where I can look up and, in the 8th or 9th, come back and grab my tight end and be okay, I guess. But it's an opportunity to build an advantage at running back, wide receiver. Man. Okay. I think I'm going to call my shot on a running back that we have talked about in this episode. And I'm just going to take Javonte Williams here in the middle of the 6th round.
That's a good pick.
James Conner at the 607. I thought about him too. Chris Godwin at the 608. I definitely thought about Chris Godwin there. He would have probably been the pick if it wasn't Javonte. Marquise Brown at the 609. Michael Pittman, Mike Williams, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, Jackson Smith and Jigba in the 7th round.
I was holding my breath. He might make it back to me.
Yeah, I was hoping he would make it back out. Rashad White at the 703. Isaiah Pacheco at the 704. Mike Evans at the 705. Christian Kirk at the 706. Once again, back on the clock. No quarterbacks went after my pick in the 6th round. So I am going to get shiesty with it and not take a quarterback again and just sort of see where things land. There's a wide receiver that pops out to me as probably a super undervalued player, especially in a PPR league. We have guaranteed target volume on the board. Deontay Johnson is here for me in the mid-late 7th round. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab him for my wide receiver 4. His teammate George Pickens goes at 708. Ben's back on the clock.
Yeah, I think I got 2 guys I want. I don't think I'm going to get both of them. But I think Jordan Addison right here is going to get enough targets to be a really solid playmaker in Minnesota and be a really decent flex option.
Yeah.
So I think I take him here.
Jordan Addison there at the 709. David Montgomery at the 710. Quentin Johnston at the 711. Jahan Dotson at the 712. Evan Ingram at the 801. Dak Prescott at the 802. Traylon Burks at the 803. Ben is once again on the clock.
I had hopes that maybe David Montgomery would make it back to me, and I get it, I've got Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think Montgomery's got enough volume to have in Detroit to be a solid individual player, and having him with Gibbs as a solid handcuff. But I'm actually okay with that because there's still a quarterback here I like.
Dang it.
Yep. I'm going to take Deshaun Watson in the 8th. I'm betting big on the bounce back for Deshaun.
That's who I would have taken there in the 8th round. I was absolutely playing the ADP game hoping that I could grab some Deshaun Watson.
Can't even get Tua. Tua goes right after him.
That was my reaction there. I thought that Tua would land later there for me. Okay.
There's still one there that we...
Yeah, there's still one here.
He's a lot more risk baked in, but he's got upside.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just go ahead and grab Anthony Richardson, grab my quarterback. We're going to go draft some upside. I've got a trick up my sleeve, though, that we'll see if it works out for later on. But we'll go Anthony Richardson here as my QB at the 806. We got that little run on quarterbacks there. Brandon Cooks goes at the 807. Pat Freiermuth at the 808. That's not Jackson Smith at Jigba. That's Juju Smith-Schuster. Michael Thomas, David Njoku, A.J. Dillon, James Cook, Zay Flowers at the 902, Kadarius Toney, wasted pick, Brian Robinson at the 904, Jamal Williams, Zach Charbonnet at the 906. I'm once again back on the clock.
I got some bad news for you.
What's that?
All your punt tight ends are gone.
They are. You're right.
Your punt tight ends are Ingram, Freiermuth, and Njoku, who all went off the board last round.
Yep. We are playing in deep water right now with tight ends.
You probably could have taken one of those, and I think Richardson would have been on the board next in this round too,
It's possible
because
but
everybody else still had a quarterback.
I really wanted to see. Oh, you're right. They did. I didn't really look at that. I really wanted to see if I could grab Richardson and try this thing out that I am thinking, and then we'll see how it goes. So I just grabbed Richardson there while he was on the board before somebody sniped me inevitably. All right. Back on the clock here in the 9th round. None of these options are very appealing. I'll be totally honest with you.
It's ugly.
I'm going to make this pick exclusively off training camp rumors. Absolutely no other reason at all, because I have not really seen anything to be super encouraging. And this is really just to make Ben laugh. I'm going to draft Cortland Sutton here in the 9th round.
We knew you had to do it.
Had to do it for the brand. Plus, Sean Payton said something this past week about how Cortland Sutton was his ideal receiver in the offensive scheme they're running.
Sean Payton was also seen smoking a bong the other day too. So
right.
I don't take what he says to mean anything.
Probably won't mean a whole lot, but we'll see. Rashad Penny goes to the 908. Ben is back on the clock.
I wanted Rashad Penny there. That is massively disappointing. Okay.
Hate to see it.
Actually, I am okay with this next pick. We really haven't talked about this guy at all lately. But new offensive coordinator in Washington. Let's see if Antonio Gibson can finally catch some passes.
I don't mind that at all. Definitely a higher upside sort of pick there. Samaje Perine follows you up at the 9-10. Khalil Herbert, Odell Beckham, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid, Dalton Schultz. Man, the punt tight ends are really gone.
You are not going to get a tight end here.
Oh, yikes. Ben's back on the clock.
At this point, like I said, we're betting on upside. That's where we take shots at this point in the draft. It's all upside. And the last guy I think who has a decent shot here to break out, I like Elijah Moore here, especially with Deshaun Watson a couple rounds before. Let's see if they can make something.
There you go. Aaron Rodgers goes right after. I'm going to grab my tight end. This feels like maybe the only guy on here that I'm pretty sure is going to actually have a pretty decent target share in his offense. May not turn into a ton of targets, but...
you made it this far. You got to just roll with it. You're not taking one. Go with the bold strategy of not starting a tight end. If I don't get one of the top 5 guys, I'm not starting one. Period.
I'm going to take Cole Kmet as my tight end. The $50 million man. Kirk Cousins goes at the 10:07. Devon A. Chain at the 10:08. Oh, geez. Geno Smith at the 10:09. That's massively frustrating because my next pick was hopefully going to be Geno Smith and then have the upside plus floor combo there at quarterback.
You can't even get Kirk.
Can't even get Kirk Cousins. Cool. Alan Lazard at the 10:10, Damian Harris at the 10:11, Jerick McKinnon, Adam Thielen, Daniel Jones. I would have also taken him. Chika Okonkwo, Rashee Rice, Jameson Williams, Elijah Mitchell. Yikes. Yikes. Yikes-opotamus. Okay. Well, the whole tight end thing didn't, or the tight end thing didn't work. The quarterback thing didn't work. At this point, it's an upside flyer. We'll take Rashad Bateman and just... We'll see what we're working with here. Greg Dulcich right after me. Ben is once again on the clock.
I would like to forfeit. I don't like any of these picks.
What, you don't like Jacoby Myers? Sky
I'm about
Moore?
to set this thing on autopilot and walk away. Again, late round. Betting on upside. Sure. Why not Sky Moore?
Fair enough. Feels like you might be setting a pick on fire there, but who knows? Oh, jeez.
Russ and Jared, is that what you're upset about?
Yes. God, I have whiffed so badly on quarterback in this draft. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jared Goff at the 11-10, Darnell Mooney at the 11-11.
You want me to make you even more mad?
Hold on. Let me finish reading these out. Tyler Higbee, Russell Wilson, Tyler Algier, Jacoby Myers. Ben, give it to me.
I actually wanted Algier here, but I'll take Derek Carr.
Oh. Dang it. All right. Well, I need a quarterback who's going to start week 1. That's where we're at.
Kenny Pickett will start.
Matthew Stafford,
Sam
Kenny
Howell.
Pickett, Bryce Young. Who should
Dude,
I
I'd
take,
just
Ben?
wait.
I'll let you have my week 1 starting quarterback pick here. Am I taking Bryce Young, Matt Stafford, or Kenny Pickett? Give me your honest opinion. Don't give me the crappiest option.
I was going to say Brock Purdy, but sure.
Gross. I don't even know
definitely-
for sure if he's the starter.
Definitely Matt Stafford.
All right, we'll go Matt Stafford. He'll be my week 1 starting quarterback in this trash league. Ugh. Devin Singletary, Sam Laporta, Jonathan Mingo, Donta Foreman, Rondale Moore, Kendre Miller, Bryce Young kicks off the last and final round. Tank Bigsby, Raheem Mostert, Gerald Everett, Nico Collins, Ezekiel Elliott. I am once again on the clock in the final round. And there's no good players here. Let's see. What's fun? What is a complete... Oh, this is fun. Let's take Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the last pick in the draft.
Zay Jones goes after him. I actually like Zay Jones there a little bit. This dude's getting a lot of camp hype. Let's take Justin Ross.
There you go. You'll know week 1 whether or not you need to drop him, that's basically all you can ask for. Why don't we look at these teams?
Roster reviews.
Roster reviews. I'll lead things off. My week 1 quarterback is Matthew Stafford, but he's on my bench. Quarterback, I've got Anthony Richardson, Matthew Stafford. Running back, I've got Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders. Who else? Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Javonte Williams. Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman. Tight end, I've got the punt king, Cole Kmet. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one.
I mean, you've said it before on the episode. After the top 6 or 7, does it really matter?
I don't want any of them.
So you missed out on those. Oh, well.
Go ahead and give us your team.
All right, so quarterback. We got Deshaun Watson, grabbed him in the 8th round. Also got Derek Carr to back him up. Like I said, we talked about it earlier in the episode. I kind of like Derek Carr in the offense to maybe surprise some people. Not calling they're going to be great, but I actually do like him a little bit. So, running back, we got Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cam Akers, and Antonio Gibson. We know Saquon Barkley's a stud. He's got one more stud year after signing the 1-year deal with New York. Jahmyr Gibbs, an incredible running back prospect, taken with a top 12 pick, which is almost a guarantee that he will be a top 12 back year 1, historically speaking. And then we both like Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson. It's a new offense. He's got a talent. Maybe he catches some passes. Wide receiver, got Devontae Adams, still got top 5 upside. Got Jerry Jeudy, hoping on a bounce back for the Denver Broncos offense as a whole. Russ they've got Sean Payton now. We'll see. You know I like TJ Hawkinson. He is, even by you will admit, he's a top 3 tight end.
Yeah, he's my tight end 3.
Gonna have a good season. Jordan Addison, rookie. Dude won a Biletnikoff, was a first-round pick. I think he's going to be fine. Elijah Moore, Sky Moore, Justin Ross, finish out my bench. More just upside swings for the fences. If I miss, oh well, they were late-round picks.
Fair enough. I don't know. How do you feel about how your team ended up? Mine, I
actually kind of like this team.
I think you did pretty solid there. I like the Cam Akers in the 6th pick. That is pretty nice. Deshaun Watson in the 8th. That's been a pick that I've been trying to make all offseason as well. Jahmyr Gibbs in the third is pretty solid.
I think it's got enough of guys who are solid like Saquon and Devontae Adams and TJ Hawkinson for that matter. I feel like all are very safe picks. They've got guaranteed workload. They're going to be good. And then guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Cam Akers, great situations or guaranteed workload. If they hit, they're going to be incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, I think I win this league. Actually, I don't know. Team 1 looks good with Jefferson, Waddle, Andrews, Fields, Mixon. Though they kind of fell off after that.
They have 0 RB2.
Definitely fell off there. Team 5, I was looking at that one. That one's actually not bad. With Kupp, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Lamar Jackson, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin.
Mike Evans, though, two receivers in the same offense, maybe not amazing, but you're right. That's a pretty decent start there.
Yeah, and who else do I like? This may be a little biased, but I like my team better than most of these.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It sort of mine kind of depends on if Anthony Richardson is good for fantasy his rookie year.
If Anthony Richardson hits, you're back in it.
And Javonte
Tyreek
Williams.
Hill, Tony Pollard, T. Higgins, Miles Sanders, all can finish. Pollard and Hill have, top 5 upside at their respective position. Sanders and Higgins are almost guaranteed top 15 at both of their positions. Then you got DJ Moore, who we're expecting to make a leap. Javonte Williams, if all the reports are in fact true, he could be a potential league winner. And then Anthony Richardson's got top 5 upside, even if he's not a great real-life quarterback.
We shall see. Good thing it's only a mock draft and it's only practice, because I don't know if I would feel super amazing about that team going into a league, but I don't have to.
This is why we mock. This is why we sit here and listen to other people mock, and hours of YouTube and fantasy podcasts in the car. This is why we do it, so that we're prepared when we go into these drafts.
Absolutely. That'll do it for this episode. Next week, we are doing our My Guys episode for 2023. Do not miss it.
One of the favorites.
It is my favorite episode of the calendar year, the My Guys episode.
If you paid attention to this one, you can almost guarantee of 3 guys you'll see on this list.
Yeah, you can infer several guys that will be on the My Guys episode. That's coming next week. That'll do it for this one. We'll see you then. Have a great week, everybody.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Brothers podcast. If you enjoyed the episode and want to connect to us, follow us on Instagram at FantasyBrothers_ or on Twitter at FantasyBros_. If you want to support the show, you can do that at Patreon /Fantasy Brothers.